Thank you, Jane. Wow, it's a bit of a neck snap here going from financial advisory to energy, but anyway. Look, thanks very much for being here today, and I'd just like to tell you a little bit about QPM Energy, who we are, what we do, and where we're going. So who are we? We are, as Jane said, we're an integrated energy business, and what does that mean? The energy part is we generate and sell electricity directly into the Queensland national electricity market. We produce and sell gas. And the integrated bit means we control the whole supply chain. So we own production assets, we own a very substantial gathering and gas processing facility. We have capacity rights on the Townsville pipeline, North Queensland gas pipeline, which I'll talk about, and we also dispatch two power stations directly into the grid. To give you an idea of the scale of our business, in the December quarter, we turned over just over $30 million. We used about 2.5, or we produced and supplied about 2.5 petajoules of gas, and we ended the quarter with about $23 million in cash. So we are a very substantial operating business, and we are exposed to some very interesting markets. For those of you who have an interest in energy, and in particular electricity and gas in Eastern Australia, we are right in that thick of that particular sector. I might just spend a little bit of time on the assets. So the core asset of our business is a project called the Moranbah Gas Project. That's located in central Queensland in a town called Moranbah, imaginatively enough. It's in the heart of the Bowen Basin. So this is the part of Queensland that produces the bulk of Australia's very high quality coking coal, and associated with that coal is massive volumes of gas. This project, the Moranbah Gas Project, was developed back in the very early 2000s, and it was part of an integrated development back then, which was quite far-sighted at the time, which was the development of the production in Moranbah, the pipeline from Moranbah to Townsville, which is about 400 kilometres, and the development of a gas-fired power station in Townsville. All of those assets we now control. The gas production asset has a substantial reserve position. It's about 330 petajoules of 2P reserves. To put that in context, we produced 2.5 petajoules in the last quarter, so we can go for about 130 quarters, right, at this rate. And we produced $30 million of revenue in the quarter, so I'll leave you guys to do the maths. We have a very substantial infrastructure position, gas gathering systems, compression, gas processing that manage this gas. We also are connected to a number of coal mines which produce gas as a byproduct of their mining operations, and we perform a very important service for them in that we manage their gas and we reduce the emissions that they would otherwise create through venting or flaring that gas. So we're actually also a carbon abatement business to a certain extent, and that's a very interesting, unique aspect of where we're located and how we can use our infrastructure. So we supply gas from those activities, gas wells which we operate and gas we receive from third parties. We supply Dyno Nobel. So Dyno make ammonium nitrate, make explosives for the coal mines in Moranbah. They are a foundation customer for us, and they're a long-term customer. They buy about 2/3 of the gas we currently produce, and we have a pretty strong relationship in that we give them cheap gas, yes, but they actually finance our business. So we have an $80 million development funding facility, which is available to drill wells and grow production, which they provide. It's effectively a gas prepayment, so there's no obligation on us to repay that other than to deliver them gas. And they've also provided a very substantial guarantee and working capital facility. So we're funded by and based around Dyno as a core customer. The 1/3 of the gas that we produce that we don't give to Dyno goes into power generation. So we have two assets. We have a power station in Moranbah that we run, which we acquired just at the end of December. And that's a very interesting little asset which we use to supply our own power for our operations in Moranbah, but we also export. And we also have the dispatch rights for the Townsville power station, which is a very large gas-fired gas turbine, does about 160 megawatts. So combined, we have about 170 to 180 megawatts of power that we dispatch. Why is that significant? Because what we do is we use the pipeline, which is essentially a huge storage vessel to store gas during the day, and then we dispatch our power stations during the peak periods, typically in Queensland from about late afternoon through to later in the evening. And the idea behind that is that's when the power market in Queensland goes nuts. So you've got a dynamic there where solar dominates the day. You're getting very low to negative power prices during the day, but as the sun sets and everyone comes home and whacks their ACs on, you're getting this incredible shift imbalance between supply and demand. And that results in very, very unstable pricing, and we're getting periods now where we're getting pricing going from zero to negative to over $17,500 a megawatt hour. So that's the game we play. And from that revenue stream for us in the last quarter was about $20 million of revenue from about 1/3 of our gas supply. So it's a really critical part of our business, and it's a very unique exposure that from our perspective that we provide an opportunity for investors to play. Structurally, the Queensland electricity market is getting more and more volatile. There is more solar going in, there is more air conditioning going in, the population's growing, and the government's handing out subsidies to use electricity. So we think that these volatile price events which drive our business are getting more frequent. In fact, we've had a large number over the last summer, and we're seeing that increasingly continue and the frequency of these events go up, and that's where our business is positioned. So that's what we do. Where are we going? Clearly, we have substantial reserve position, and that reserve position combined with the infrastructure we have gives us a scope to grow quite substantially. Just to put it in context, we have about 26 to 30 petajoules a year of capacity through our existing infrastructure, of which we're only using 1/3. Now, if we had a 330 petajoule reserve somewhere, greenfields, it would cost us about $1 billion to build the infrastructure and drill the wells and develop the field that we currently have and operate. So just to give you a context, we are operating, we have all of our permitting, we have granted licences, we are a real business, and we've got 330 petajoules to go. This is one of the biggest reserves in Eastern Australia, so if you're following what's going on in the gas market in East Australia, there ain't enough gas. We are very well positioned, and our plan is to grow that position, grow our business, increase our capacity to generate electricity, and actually ultimately see that we are actually a very, very significant contributor to the energy business and energy market in North Queensland and potentially the eastern states in particular. That's it. Please come and see me if you want to hear more, or maybe since it's Chinese New Year, you can see DeepSeek. You'll find out all about it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jay.